Hi, I'm Chef Andrew Sells, and this week we're in Newport, Rhode Island in search of local flavor. We'll stay at the Northeast premier boutique hotel, The Pearls, and enjoy world-class accommodations while exploring one of America's oldest seaports. We'll also search the docks for the perfect entree with Chef Robert Kelly and create a classic New England lobster boil. Stay with us as we explore great food, fun, and travel this week on Destination Flavor. Here we are at Pearls Boutique Hotel, and I'm with the owner, Ray Morrison. We are having an exceptional stay here. Ray, tell me, how did you get involved in such a property or such a business like this?
My background is real estate. Always ran real estate like a hospitality business. Loved Newport, came to Newport, got involved in historic buildings, went looking around, decided that I wanted to turn beautiful historic properties into an exquisite boutique hotel.
Historical, what is the dates of this property?
Well, this property is 1858, and the other properties are 1750, 1756, and then there's an 1825 Federalist.
Ray, what defines a boutique hotel?
Interesting that you say that, because if you went on Google and you Googled boutique hotel, nothing comes up.
Nothing at all.
People don't understand that the meaning of a boutique hotel, or understand the uniqueness of a boutique hotel, because there are really very few of them in America. A boutique hotel is a defining destination for people, because what is presented here, and we feel that we are definitely symbolize the aura of a boutique hotel, is you have services. Everybody provides services, but our services are personalized with a very experienced staff. And it starts with me, it starts at the top, and it goes down to the full staff. So when you come to Pearls, basically, you walk in the door, you've stepped into another place. It's not like going to a Hyatt hotel. They give you a key, you go up to your room, you're on your own. Of course, you can come here and be left alone and have the privacy and the intimacy that you need. Or you can take advantage of all the fine things, the muffins, the cookies, the treats that we greet you when they come in the door, the special meals that we may prepare in your room. We have a lot of amenities, and that's another defining moment that we feel as part of the experience of Pearls. So you come to Pearls and you walk in your room, and what are you going to find? You're going to find beautiful fresh flowers. You're going to find a bottle of wine. You're going to find Italian mineral water and some beautiful, beautiful other items that will be put in the room for the guests to enjoy. It's all complimentary. It's all part of the Pearls experience.
Ray, these rooms and the property is so beautiful. Where did you get the creativity for this, or what, tell me how all this came about.
Well, a lot of my creativity, I have to say, is inbred from my mom, Pearls. And the establishment is named after Pearl, my mom. I put an S on it because there are multiple properties.
Sure.
I've always been very big into style. I've lived overseas, and I brought a lot of my world experiences into this facility. And I've turned this beautiful, exquisite, historical property into an eclectic masterpiece. If you look outside, for instance, the windows of this property, 41 Pelham, the Victorian house, you'll see that they're all gold leaf. When you come inside, you'll see these beautiful wallpaper designs and the trim that is around all the rooms, inside all the rooms, and it's all gold leaf. But it lends a sense of elegance that is characteristic of the period. However, what we've done is we've incorporated postmodern, Art Deco, and period pieces and unique items that I've actually had designed and built and fabricated to separate this place from any establishment that you ever come into. And each individual place that we have at Pearls, each individual home that is part of this whole entity, is all built around the idea of bringing out the most of that period, whatever it is, Federalist as an example, early American, our two early American houses, and putting touches in there that will maintain the originality and the flavor. When you walk into Pearls, into the foyer, you'll see on the fireplace mantel a beautiful crystal bowl. It's an old crystal bowl, probably produced in the very early 1900s.
You're kidding.
And what we do is we have a lot of activity here. We're very busy here. And on a typical weekend and throughout the summer, we have many people coming in from different states, different cities, rent-a-cars from the airports. And we use that beautiful crystal bowl sitting on the fireplace mantel as a repository for their keys.
Oh, nice.
And it's
nice.
a beautiful, elegant piece that people can put their keys in. It makes a statement, and it's also utilitarian.
Super.
And there are many things that we have here that we consider utilitarian as well as design features that enhance the beauty and the elegance of the place.
Ray, what kind of facilities do you have here for like corporate packages and groups and so on, and what do you specialize in?
Well, we actually cover the gamut. I mean, whether you're a corporation that is looking for an exquisite, quiet, intimate, well-serviced retreat where you might have 15 or 20 high-level corporate people like board of directors of a corporation.
Sure.
Or you have a wedding group that wants to come in here and be surrounded by a beautiful historical property which is bent on focusing on services, amenities, and personalized attention. Then we have, we get birthday groups that come in across here. We get a lot of sailing groups. We have a lot of international sailing groups that find our place on the web and through referrals from other groups that have been here. Here at Pearls, we provide for our guests experiences that they normally don't have at home. So it provides you, the visitor to Pearls, something that you'll bring back with you as a very special memory and hopefully draw you back and revisit our fine establishment.
You know, Ray is absolutely right, and I know we're going to be back. But right after this commercial break, we're going to treat you to some culinary flavors of Newport, so stay with us. Newport, Rhode Island was founded in 1639 as one of America's oldest seaports. The Pearls is located only 2 blocks from the waterfront, where Chef Robert Kelly took us to his favorite dock to pick out a lobster for our special New England dish. I'm back at a Quid Dick Lobster with Dave, and Dave's going to give us a little input of what happens in this lobster fishing industry. Dave, thank you for having us.
No problem.
Listen, I want to know, what's the whole process, number one? I see the tanks, I see everything you got, the docks. We're on top of water right now, right?
Yes, we are.
And we've got these huge barges and all these things coming in, these fishing boats. It's just a whole, like, overwhelming experience. Just help me out. First of all, how are the lobsters fished or farmed or caught?
Well, they're all caught. There's a couple different methods. There's pot boats, which actually use lobster pots, and then the draggers, when they go ground fishing.
They actually drag them from the bottom?
They actually drag them from the bottom. What they do, when they go fishing for like cod or hake or haddock or something like that, as they go ground fishing, they get the lobsters in as a bycatch.
Right, got it.
And a lot of times the draggers are the one that brings the larger lobsters in.
So bycatch meaning that that's predominantly not what they're fishing for. They just
No,
have
sir.
to get caught up into the
Yes.
into the other fishing industry.
Yes.
So okay, so great. Now let me ask you this: what's with the assortment of tanks here? Are you sorted by size, weight, male, female?
They're all sorted by size and quality.
Okay.
The majority of them, as they come off the boat, we separate them according to size and quality. Pound, pound and a quarter is going one, pound and a half, pound 3/4 is going the other. Pound 3/4 to 4 go in one system. 4 to 8s go in one system, and 8s and up.
8 pounds and up lobsters.
Yes.
Okay, so we got the size down pat, but what happens when we're talking about the quality? I'm interested to hear about this.
What it is, lobsters shed, and as they shed, the shell gets a little soft. It's almost like a soft shell crab, but it's not quite that soft. And what happens as they grow into the shell, they start filling up. So if you take a lobster right off the boat, and as you pick it up, you could feel if it's full or not.
Yeah.
Not 95% of the times. I mean, sometimes there's lobsters that feel like they're rock hard, and after you cook them, they're not quite as full.
I'm with you. Now, what do you do with the ones that are soft or just shedded, so to speak?
We actually put those in another system. We primarily use cold water to keep the lobsters cold and happy, because the colder water slows them down and keeps them happy and keeps them alive longer.
Right on.
A lot of those get sold to processors.
So not too much to the retail here.
There's a few retail people that prefer them.
Okay.
One, because they're a little bit cheaper. Two, they're a whole lot easier. You don't need nut crackers or anything to break them open.
Oh, that's a great day.
A lot of people think they're sweeter also, because where there's water inside inside the shell, it actually helps it steam and gives a little sweeter flavor, they say. Have you ever cracked open a lobster with a big claw and have a little piece of meat inside it?
Yes, exactly.
That's what that is primarily.
I call that getting robbed. All right, now listen, here is a big theory. Heard it all across the country, trying to figure this out. It came to you, you're the specialist, you're the one that can tell me what's going on. They say that lobsters that are 6-7 pounds are how many years old? What's with this age thing? Because I'm blown away by this.
There's so many different theories. The first theory I heard was 7 years per pound.
7 years per pound. So 10 pounds, 70 years old lobster.
I mean, I've been here 12 years, and in the 12 years I've been here, I've seen 22, 25 pound lobsters.
What is the biggest you've come through here?
Biggest I've told that came through here was way back in the heyday of the offshore fisheries. It was a 44-pound lobster.
44 pounds.
44
That's just
pounds.
about what I weigh. That's incredibly large. Okay, now, how many guys does it take to get off the boat, and what size rubber band do they use to lock that claw down?
They actually use electrical tape.
Electrical tape.
Yes, and they hold the claw. One guy holds the claw, one guy breaks out the tape and wraps it along, and
oh my God.
they hope it doesn't grab a hold of their wrist.
Dave, listen, I'm from Pensacola, Florida, and you know, we have warm waters down there.
Yep.
Now, the Florida lobster has no claws. And then up here in the Northeast, cold water lobsters, they have claws. Now, is that, where do they stop? Where is this, they go to Carolinas and the one with claws go back north? How does this work out?
It's the water temperature. So when the water starts warming up, a lot of them turn around and come back. Where the Florida water lobster is primarily a warmer water lobster.
Right.
They're actually like two different species.
Okay, they are.
Yes, one's a New England lobster, more commonly known as a Maine lobster.
Yep.
The spiny lobster, which is the Florida lobster, the warmer water lobster, I'm not really familiar with, but I know that they do get really large.
Yes.
And then they have a lot of meat in the tail, and I hear they're pretty sweet tasting.
Okay, that's great. Now, let me ask you this. You ship all over the country?
Yes, we do.
So how does one, like me in Pensacola, call you up and say, Dave, I want 2 10 to 12 pound lobsters for a TV show or for a special celebration? How do you get them to me, and how are they coming live? They're good?
They're coming live, they're good. We ship them next day air. We put them in insulated boxes with some gel ice packs, wet newspaper on top to keep the cold in and keep them nice and moist.
They have to breathe as well, right?
What happens is when the cold slows them down, they store oxygen. I was told that they store oxygen inside their body.
Yeah, I have a problem doing that.
Oh,
now,
me too.
Now, also in the tanks, like behind us here, I noticed there's a fish swimming here. It looks like a triggerfish, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you got a triggerfish in here, you got some kind of sucker fish over there. What's up with the fishes? Just keeping the tanks clean?
Oh, no, we like entertaining people also as they come in. A lot of little kids come in. Sometimes we have little sand sharks in the tank.
Yeah.
And then another thing is the sea bass. We also have the black sea bass in the tank. We have a large group of customers that prefer the live fish for sushi quality.
Okay.
And they'll come in, they'll pick the fish that they want. They're like, I want that fish. I get it out, I bag it up, and thank you, have a nice day.
So you can provide sushi quality fish to some of the chefs in the area?
Yeah.
That's a home run. Dave, you're the specialist. I need 2 lobsters for my show. Do you have something in store for me I can take back?
Come on back, I got a special tank in back just for you.
Right on.
How about something like that?
Oh, that's a little bit better. Do you have anything a little
bit bigger? I got something, let's see, how about something like that?
No, if you have one just a little bit bigger.
All right. This may be a bigger.
This is exactly what we're looking for. Now this is Rhode Island. Look at this. This is what you get in Newport. This is going to be perfect. Can you bag that up?
Yes, I will.
Thank you very much.
Not a problem.
We're back at Pearl's, and I'm here with Chef Robert, and we just had a fantastic trip to the lobster company down the road. What's
Quidnick Lobster.
Fantastic.
Sorry, Chef, I didn't have a pot large enough for the original lobster you were picking out.
I felt that might have been the situation. Well, what do we have?
I got you a 1.5 pound lobster.
All right, well, that's going to have to work.
But it looks a little more like 2 pounds. Do you think it is, possibly?
It's creeping up on 2 pounds. He's a beautiful lobster.
Yeah, and he's also biting himself. But listen, Chef, before we get going, and we talk to our viewers about all the things we're going to do, I want to prepare a traditional kind of Newport or New England dish. what is something that somebody like from Pensacola, like myself, or someone from California would say, if I go to the Northeast, I've got to have that lobster dish?
When people come to Newport, generally they're looking for a boiled lobster dinner, which would come with fresh corn, bliss potatoes, and, you know, drawn butter on the side. Fresh herbs in the drawn butter is a nice way we like to, you know, kind of change things around here at Pearls.
A little higher class. Can we do that?
Absolutely.
All right, so listen, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about the lobster a little bit. You wanna start on the butter and then we'll get going.
Very good.
All right, fantastic. So here's what we have. We have an absolute Maine lobster, what they call a cold water lobster here in the Northeast. And there's a couple things when you're purchasing lobsters you really want to look for. Number one, movement. We want it to be live. Number two, we don't want it to be a soft shell. We absolutely want it to have a hard shell. If it's a soft shell, what's happening is the lobster has just molded or just shedded. It's not a very good situation. Also, you want to make sure that all of the fins and the tail particles are intact. This makes sure we have no water damage. And that's about it. Last but not least, just a good smell. Salty, brisk, cold New England water. All right, what is the order we want to do this?
Well, we got to keep in mind our cooking times.
Right.
The red bliss potatoes for medium potatoes are going to take about 25 minutes. Okay. We're talking about 5 minutes with the corn, and most importantly, our lobster.
All right, we got the potatoes in already?
We have started the potatoes already. We're going to add the corn into the pot where the potatoes are cooking. I've already taken the liberty of putting some salt in there.
Okay. Can I start with the lobster?
Please, be my guest.
Fantastic. We got the lobster in, we got the potatoes in, we're gonna put the corn in about the last 5 minutes so the whole meal comes out hot together. Is that correct?
Right.
All right. Listen, stay with us. We'll be right back for this delicious meal. Welcome back. Chef, what are you doing with the butter over here, the infused herb butter?
Well, we melt the butter on the stove, take it off, and then we're going to add our fresh herbs. We've used chives and fresh chiffonade of basil today, and
Smells
just
great.
a little bit of fresh lemon juice, and a few turns of the pepper mill.
Is that going to conclude our nice dipping butter there?
That's all she needs.
You know, a lot of people ask me when we're cooking lobsters how long, and really the rule of thumb is 8 minutes to a pound of lobster. But you know, when you're gonna do it New England style like this, make sure the shell is red, the tail is curved, it's firm, and that's basically the bottom line as far as I'm concerned is the time limit for the lobster. How about yourself?
Yes, sticking to the time prescribed is great.
I think that's absolutely the way to go. So let's put this together, yeah? Oh yeah, this is perfect. And this is absolutely 8 minutes to a pound. Nice 2-pound Maine lobster. Now this is the perfect New England boiled lobster dinner. We got the lobster, the bliss potatoes, wonderful corn, fresh parsley, your herb-infused drawn butter. Smells great.
Looks great.
Let's eat.
Let's eat.
Robert, now this is the way to serve a Newport lobster.
That looks great.
What do you think of choice of beverage we should serve with this?
People would tend to pour a Chardonnay or a Sauvignon Blanc for its crispness and acidity and the way it goes with a lobster.
Sure.
At Pearls, we serve Gruette champagne with it.
Oh, I think the crispness of that with the sweet lobster is going to be fantastic. By the way, this is beautiful stemware. Where do you get this?
It's Ralph Lauren Crystal. We use Ralph Lauren products throughout our boutique hotel.
Now that's crispy and it's going to go great with this sweet lobster. Don't go away, folks. We're going to enjoy this meal and we'll be right back. Thanks for joining us on Destination Flavor. I hope you've been inspired to check out Newport and the surrounding areas and explore firsthand one of America's founding cities. I'm Chef Andrew Sells, and remember, happiness is cooking with flavor.
Have a pot big enough to cook the lobster that you selected originally.
So what lobsters do we have then?
I've got a better size for you.
Just one, right?
Just one.
Sorry,
What's your finger?